Welcome to Music Theory Basics. Today we'll be looking at semiquavers and semiquaver rests, otherwise known as 16th notes or 16th note rests. Here we have our semiquaver. A semiquaver also consists of a head, a stem and a tail, but as you can see here, there are two tails for a semiquaver. A semiquaver can have its stem facing up or down depending on where it is on the stave. When the stem is facing down, it also has a head, a stem, and the two tails. But how many beats is a semiquaver? A semiquaver is a quarter of a beat. So if we add our two semiquavers together, this will equal half a beat, which is a quaver. So as you can see here at the top, we have a crotchet, and inside our crotchet we can fit 4 semiquavers. So at the top here, we have our semiquaver, which we have just been talking about, and this is a quarter of a beat. Beneath this, we have our quaver, which is half a beat. Then we have our crotchet, which is 1 beat, our minim, which is 2 beats, and then our semibreve, which is 4 beats. Now let's remind ourselves about the difference between notes and rests. On the left-hand side, you can see a selection of notes. Now, when you see these on the music, you will make a sound. On the right-hand side of the table, you can see a selection of rests. Now, when you see these on the music, you don't make a sound. So let's talk about the semiquaver rest. As you can see here, it looks very similar to our quaver rest, except now it has 2 tails. But how many beats is the semiquaver rest? You've guessed it, it's a quarter of a beat. So if we add 2 semiquaver rests together, we get a quaver rest. 2 quarters make 1 half. So if we look here, at the top we have our crotchet rest, which is worth 1 whole beat. And then inside this, we can fit 4 semiquaver rests as they are a quarter of a beat. So from the top, we have our semiquaver rest, which we have just been talking about, and this is a quarter of a beat. Below this, we have our quaver rest, which is half a beat. Then we have our crotchet rest, which is 1 beat. Then we have our minim rest, which is 2 beats. And then we have our semibreve rest, which is 4 beats. We can now add our semiquavers to the bottom of our table. At the top of the table, we have our semibreve, then we have our minims, then we have our crotchets, then we have our quavers, and then we have our semiquavers. As you can see here, there are 16 semiquavers in a semibreve. We can do the same thing with our rests. As you can see here, we have our semiquaver rests added to the table. So if we go from the top, we have our semibreve rest at the top, then our minim rests, then our crotchet rests, then our quaver rests, and then our semiquaver rests. Again, there are 16 semiquaver rests inside a semibreve rest. But how do we group these together? As you can see here, we have our 2 semiquavers which total a quaver. These can be joined together like this. The 2 tails come together in the middle. Now if we have 3 semiquavers, these can be joined together in the same way, just like this. And finally, if we have 4 semiquavers, these can be joined together in the same way again, just like this. So on the left-hand side of our table, you can see our semiquavers joined together with their stems facing upwards. And then on the right-hand side of the table, you can see our semiquavers joined together with their stems facing down. I hope that has been really useful in learning how to work out semiquavers and semiquaver rests, and I really hope to see you soon in our next Music Theory Basics video.